the best time of the week. Time to listen to the Three Brothers. Forget your garlic and your leeks and listen to the Three Brothers. It's fat-free, sugar-free, dairy-free, soy-free, and free from gluten and priestcraft too. If you click this accidentally, stick around. You might learn a thing or two. Chuck on a shirt, tie and shorts, and crack yourself a brew without any further ado. We are coming at you. Three brothers, juxtapositions, and midnight ramblings for sure. Three brothers, don't forget you get what you pay for. Three brothers, so come on down, don't even worry about it anymore. Three brothers.
Hello, brothers and sisters, or whoever you may be out there. Welcome to this week's podcast. No,
We
none
only
of
do
this.
brothers or sisters. We don't do the others.
We don't do
There's
the
no
others.
others.
If you're an other, see you later.
You clicked the wrong video.
You accidentally clicked, and we don't want you to stay. It's time again for your favorite. We are your favorite. This is going well. Three brothers.
Brothers.
To the Three Brothers podcast.
You get what you
Happy to
pay
have
for.
you here. And you do get what you pay for, and it's not worth a lot, and it's terrible, but you get it for free, so that's what counts.
That's good value.
But it's the value, there's some value, and if you did accidentally click, there may be some value, so you should still stick around. We would love to have you stick around, and maybe you'll learn a thing or two. All right, so we got that out of the way. Far out. Well, let's do some of this.
How did we do from me to you? I wanna follow up. Yeah.
It's always good. All right, so did you want to put the image up? There we go. That's right. You have to do it after my audio, don't you? Okay, following up, people. So doing a little follow-up on our commitment from last week, and also anything interesting for the week. So the commitment from last week, if you recall, was to make the choice to be truly Zion or bust. And that was in reference to I just pulled it up because I wanted to make sure I remembered. So President Oaks saying living worthily to meet Christ is no easy task. And it was a scripture from 2 Nephi 33. And so the commitment was to make the choice to be truly Zion or bust. How did we do? And what else is going on? Anything fun? Cool. All right, moving on.
I knew this would happen every time. So yeah, I got the teaching for edification. We the big fat we on that. We got the teaching for edification done in a book. I mean, there's so many things that we've done in the past that we're now compiling and putting into book form that people can get for free, or in PDF form, or buy it at cost from places that it's been very cool to see that happen. As people know, I've had sickness over here. That's finally gotten away, so I'm the last one. I still have a little bit in the nose, but otherwise, I'm gonna be good to go this week, I think. So that's fantastic. So I'm really appreciating that. And the other thing, with the my cat's causing me troubles again. So like they keep thinking that he has like asthma, or they think he had like teeth cleaning and stuff. So he's driving me crazy. He's being an emotional wreck this week for me, and so that's obnoxious. The last thing I would say is about I care about things way too much. Is that this being Zion or bust? This has been a really good one for me this week because I've been trying to work on this paper of mine about the atonement as well at the same time, and this has really been really been that way for me. That this how do I be a little bit more Zion or bust? And there was a couple things that happened this week that I was just like, oh my goodness, like I shouldn't be doing this. Like I should be a little better with this. And even though it's kind of fun, I should be a better person. And and so I've been like, I made the choice to be Zion or bust, even though it hurt. I've shared some of those painful experiences with Topher recently. It hurt, like to try to be a better person, and even in weird situations, right? And it's not always easy, let's say. And I think we're getting into a time period where, just like in the Nephites, where um, the lawlessness in the land is going to create the love of man to wax cold. And I think that we need to really make these decisions. Like, are we actually going to be Zion or bust in all things, or just a few things? And I think people um, show a lot about themselves in these things. And so yes, I did try to do this week. So that's my follow up from me to you.
Mm. You wanna follow up? Bum bum bum. I was I don't know if I've mentioned it on the podcast before, but I've obviously spoken to you guys about this. The fact that I've accidentally found myself becoming more and more important from from a management perspective at work. Like it's been really interesting over the past couple of years at work. It's been like, oh, you do this for a living, do you? Cool. Do you want to do the opposite of that? Yeah, okay, that's fine. Hey, do you want a team of people? Okay, cool. Here's 5 people to manage. Hey, do you want to do something you've never done in your life, but make that your career? Okay, cool. So then I start doing that. Um, by the way, you're now managing everyone. Okay. It's just been like a an interesting progression where I've just sort of come into work to do my thing, and then it's like a tap on the shoulder. Okay, now by the way, you're doing this. By the way, you're doing that. And this week we've had to make one of the most senior people in my work redundant. And I was just saying to you guys before we jumped on air that it's been a very, very hard week because of that, and dealing with, people seeing somebody leave that they really cared about and being very emotional, and then trying to work with people to let them know that I genuinely care about them, and don't want to see them upset, and trying to manage people's emotions and keep them from feeling too uncertain about change and all that sort of stuff in the workplace. And yeah, I think being involved in those types of things where there's lots of emotion and there's lots of change and there's lots of responsibility that falls upon my head simply because of the position that I'm sitting in has been an interesting wave to ride for me. And I guess it ties into everything spiritual as well. How am I going to conduct myself when things get hard in any aspect of my life? Am I going to turn to Heavenly Father and I'm going to rely on Him? Am I going to try and be like you were saying? Are you going to try and be the same person in every situation? Are you going to try and be the Xenobus person in every single situation, and a little bit better where you possibly can? And I think I've handled it fairly well. And I'd like to hope that because of the standards that I've set for myself, and because I'm trying to be Christ-like, and because I'm trying to be Zion or bust, I think that reflects in moments like this, because that's the kind of person that I've developed to become. And I think that's probably the reason why I keep getting tapped on the shoulder to do other things, because of the person that that trying to be a Zion or bust person has made me, and that's who people see when they look at me. So I think that's a positive, but it's been a big week. It's been a real big week.
So you know what I love about what you just said is with your career, like you keep getting asked to be stretched and to do things you've never done, to do the opposite of things you're used to doing, and then you do it, right? You go, okay, and you do it, and then you'll get another one, and you get another one, and you're asked to just flip around and you get people to manage and whatever. And I was just thinking while you're saying that, isn't that like just the way like God works as well? Constantly asking you to do things that you think you might not be able to do, or you've never done, or whatever.
Yep.
But then when you go, yeah, I'll do it, and he makes it possible for you to do it. And
Yep.
to be honest, my career has been very much the same. Probably not doing opposite of the things I'm doing, but constantly being stretched and kind of like I've always got imposter syndrome. Do you know what I mean? So like in
Mm,
my kind of role, I'm like, who am I to do what I'm doing right now? Do you know what I mean?
mm,
And like I hire people that are older than me, and I'm like, or by rights more experienced than me in a lot of ways, and things like this. And I'm like, who am I to be managing people like that? Things like this. It's
mm,
and I would imagine you'd have similar feelings when you do something like a bishop. Like you've got fairly young bishop. My bishop is well, the one before my bishop now is not. He's a bit older than me, but the one before was my age. And you can get them even younger than that. And there must be similar feelings in certain callings and things where you've got to do things and it could be daunting and whatever. But every time you do it, the Lord makes sure that you can do it because you've accepted, and he gives you the ability if you're dependable. The classic quote that I'm going to butcher from Neil A. Maxwell. If
Neil
you're
Maxwell. Yeah.
dependability, he'll give you, whatever that quote is. It's really, really
Uh,
good, but I'll ruin it.
yeah.
And then
I
you
bet
said at
Micah
the end,
knows it.
of course he does.
Yeah.
If you give him your dependability,
He only
he'll increase your capability, something like that.
yeah.
And then the last thing you said, Evan, was that that's why you keep getting tapped and you keep getting tapped on the shoulder for more because you're the guy that will do it when they ask. And the same thing when you serve the Lord when he asks. And if you do it, you get tapped on the shoulder for more things. Not that more responsibility means anything, but it means something for yourself, right? Doing what the Lord asks you to do, to be stretched, to be pulled, to be polished, to be
Mhm.
chipped at, polished and shined and yeah. So that's cool. I think that's a really good metaphor for life and for the gospel. For me myself, being Zion or bust, yeah. So it's always a constant. It's a constant thing. I'm also very very busy. There's a lot of competing priorities in my life, let's say, and family is one of them. Making sure your family feels enough gets enough of your time. Work is another one that's a huge one that and it is very, very, very busy and taxing. And then there's just lots of things. My callings, man, I've got three, and in all honesty, sometimes I feel like me being Zion or bust is me dedicating enough time to my calling or my callings and making sure that those are done correctly as well. So anyway, I do what I can and I do my best, and I think that's all we can do. But it's probably important to always keep it in your mind that choice needs to be made, and yeah, we need to do our best. So anyway, yes, ma'am.
Well said.
All right. Anything else? Anything else before I?
Ability.
Yeah, all good.
Oh, he's
Yeah,
God
got
is
this
it.
not
guy.
it's ability. So anyway, God does not begin by first by asking our ability, only our availability. So ability,
Okay.
availability. Prove our dependability, he increases our capability.
Yeah, yeah.
That's
Beautiful.
that's
the
it.
one. That's
That's
the
the
one.
It's quoted a lot by
Yeah, it's Neil A. Maxwell, man, just goes down in
Most
history as
quotable person
the
ever.
quotable man. Yeah. All right. Ready?
We've got to rent. Yeah, we've got to rent. Oh, it's the rent of the week. Yeah.
Oh man, it's so good. Oh yeah, so this one doesn't have an image. I didn't make an image for this one because I didn't know how to make an image for this one because I didn't want to call anybody out because like there, as you would expect. So from last week, we there was a lot of the or actually a couple weeks, actually for the last couple weeks. We've talked about this for a couple weeks. The changes in the Sunday school, the changes in the like going to the 25-minute thing. And we've been talking about this for a couple weeks now. And as you would expect, every single one of the priest crafters out there took this as an opportunity to do what? Swear fealty to the flag. That's what they did, right? They take the opportunity to be like, our job is to sustain the leadership, and that means that we're gonna make this work, and it's like that's not what sustain means. And even in that definition, it's like it's so frustrating to me because like even in that definition, what does it mean to make something work? Like, have you never done anything worth anything in your whole life? What does it mean to make something work? Don't you anti? Isn't that central to it? Like, if it's worth anything, if doing the thing is worth anything, it's gonna have obstacles. The easy stuff in life isn't worth anything, but anything worthwhile, you're gonna go, okay, this is gonna compete for my time. This is gonna be the opposition. This is what's gonna. So anything worth obtaining is gonna have obstacles. So even in the act of, well, we're gonna make this work, that you're gonna have to look then at what's not gonna work about this and how do you make it work, right? Like as part of the very nature of things. And I think that what the problem we have right now in the church is we have an epidemic of people who want to close their eyes to problems and cloak it in sustaining, cloak it in love, cloak it in, oh, the kid's running around with a knife, cloak it in, well, we'll just love them more. We want to cloak these things in this false Christianity, this false thing, and it's like that none of that's right. None of that's right. The act of sustaining the leaders, for people saying, "Hey, the 25 minute is going to have problems, and here are the problems." That is not a lack of sustaining. That is the act of sustaining. Here are the problems that you're going to
Yeah,
have to deal with.
we're going to make this work, but here's
We're
my
going to
problem.
make exactly. It doesn't. If you just blindly go into stuff and just be like, "Ah, we're just going to make it work somehow." You're gonna fail. Like I'll tell you what, I hated being with missionaries like that. I hated in any kind of situation like, oh, we're just gonna make it work. It's like, no, let's talk about this. What are some things that can come up? What if they did this? What would be your response in this situation if they brought up, blacks in the priesthood? Like you don't want to, be in these situations and have to be resolving these things in the moment, right? And
Mm,
every parent knows that. That's why they train their kids to be like, if they offer you drugs, what are you gonna do?
yeah.
We're assuming the worst about them. No, I'm not. I'm not assuming the worst, but I want my kid to be prepared for the worst so that they can succeed. That is the act of sustaining. And so anyway, I couldn't make a picture because like I didn't want to call out a specific priest crafter out there, but like it was all of them, all at once, as suspected. And this is the best thing ever. We're gonna support it. And then in 3 weeks, when they undo it, they're gonna be like, "This new thing is the best thing ever." And we're gonna and it's just like
We always knew this was never going to work.
we always knew. And it's like it's just kill me. Like this is just so. Anyway, we need to actually sustain, and the way you do that is because for here's an example that get personal. Topher's moving out into the country. Topher's moving out into the country. Now I could just be like, "Oh, hey, Topher, like, that's the best thing ever. I love you, blah 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 blah." Or I could be like, "Hey, here are some problems that came up. Have you looked at the internet? Oh, you have? Okay, cool." That's how I support him because I don't want him to walk into a situation and maybe run into something in the country that he's not familiar with.
Yeah.
That's how I sustain him. I'm not trying to like take away joy. I'm just trying to make sure that the transition is as smooth as possible. And if there's anything, maybe like that's how you sustain somebody.
Hmm.
Anyway,
That was a
that's the
great
rant
rant.
of the week. Learn about what
That's
it means to sustain
solid.
somebody.
Those changes don't come in till September, I think, eh? So we've still got like 5 months. What a weird.
Ooh,
Why announce something that far ahead too? I don't know why. It's a bit weird, but anyway, give us 5 months to argue about it. 5 months for the priest crafters to make money on
Yep.
it.
Yep.
maybe that's part of your point, Micah, which is, hey, we're going to make a big change. We understand it's a big change. You may not like it either. Here's 5 months to sort of wrap your head around how the heck are you going to actually make a
Exactly.
25 minute lesson work?
That's exactly
Because I
right.
still don't know. And anyone can say, like, because people have been coming up with these little like lesson outline things actually might have been presented by the church. Like instead of learning, we're going to just have a spiritual discussion. It's going to start with the thought and then the discussion and then the summary and then the. But honestly, and we all know this, right? If you've ever taught anybody a lesson in your life, you will know that 25 minutes isn't enough time to do anything. It is literally just enough time to say, welcome, we love Jesus, have a great week. That there's really nothing beyond that you can do in 25 minutes. And I know that from so many years of experience. So I'm great. I think great for all those people out there that actually can feel like they can make that work. I cannot see how I would ever be able to make that a productive 25-minute segment in any way, shape, or form that I'm teaching or doing anything, but I will do it. Does that make sense? It's to your point, Mike.
Yes.
It's like I will try and find the way to do it better, and I'm going to do it, and I'm going to be supportive, and I'm going to follow it. But I'll be darned if I understand why it is the way it is, and I still don't think it's optimal. I just don't think the optimal way to get people who barely do anything outside of church on Sunday to come together and discuss something spiritually can adequately work together in a 25-minute segment. I just don't think it can. I don't think it's optimal. So generally across a church, if that's the way that the Lord wants things done, then we'll all obviously do it. But it doesn't mean I can't wish that we had an hour for each one of these classes on a regular basis, because I think an hour is short, to be honest. But hey, we will do what we got to do. I'm not going to go out there and say this is the best thing ever, and we have to say it's the best thing ever. But I'll do what needs to be done.
And it funnels people into priestcraft. Exactly what you just said. So like there's an interest there that people need to make clear, that these priestcrafters get money doing what they do. And if people are feeling like they're not getting enough out of 25-minute Sundays, they're gonna funnel more to the priestcrafters. So they have an incentive. So it increases. So they have an incentive to love this program because it feeds their pocketbook. So
Priestcrafters will sell 25-minute lessons.
That's what will happen.
Here's the 25-minute lesson you can use. Yeah.
Dude, and that's what it'll turn into 25 minutes. Hey, my favorite priestcrafter, my favorite priestcrafter, my favorite priestcrafter.
I mean, Sunday school is already like that. It'll just be more of that. Like, dude, when I've got an hour to teach a lesson, I never make it through half my lesson. Like, you know what I mean? It just doesn't happen. You know, never, ever, ever do I've never gone through and finished my lesson. It's never happened. When I even do a talk on Sunday, I never cover half the things I prepare to talk about. So, and then because I have a really hard time simplifying. You know, I like to get caught in the detail, but I have a hard time going high level. You know what I mean? Like, and so how am I supposed to do that, man? Like, there's so much good stuff to talk about. Yeah, what are you going to do?
You'll never be able to get into the detail.
What do you extract for 25 minutes? What do you extract all of these things into? It ends up being things like love. Do you know what I mean? Like, it ends up being high level. The most
basic common denominator.
Yeah, like it filters into the simple things, because what do you break it down into? You don't have time to go into anything of any meaning, any worth, because there's no time. So it ends up being the high level things.
Yeah, you know what takes time? I don't know about you guys, but I've sat in lessons recently with the youth where I say something off the cuff. Okay, so I say, hey, you know, the Savior taught us in the scriptures that X, Y, Z, and then one of the students will go, "That's really interesting, Ammon. Can you just tell me where you found that?" Now, if I say, yeah, absolutely, hang on a second, and I have to find it, let's say it takes me a couple of minutes.
Yep.
I'm still talking. I say, yeah, you know, I believe it was in 2nd Nephi, and it was when Lehi was talking to his sons, and, you know, I'm pretty sure it's in chapter 13. You know, I'm looking for it. I find it. I go, oh, there it is. Here, if you wouldn't mind reading the scripture, take 45 seconds to read the scripture. So as you can see, the Savior here taught through his prophet Lehi. That's an 8-minute exercise.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
And that was a brief side quest in a tight lesson. That's 30% of your 25-minute or whatever. I can't count, by the way, but that's a significant chunk. as a minor side quest, just to show a scripture to highlight something that you'd mentioned briefly. Now imagine if you
Yeah.
wanted to share 3 scriptures. Boom, done. It's over.
Yeah.
It's over.
Sometimes side quests make the best journey, though. If I play like a game like Skyrim or something, the side quests are,
Or the game.
Sometimes you get the most.
Yeah, I'll do all the side quests.
Sometimes that's where you get the most.
So yeah, and you never know how it will go.
Because-
But you're right, though.
Because you're led spiritually. So the lesson starts, hey, love. The lesson today is about love. And someone's like, you know what? I think love is taking the knife off the kid. Not just encouraging the kid, no, play with your knife, but just care about people. It's like, no, take the knife off the kid. Say, don't do that, because if you have the knife, there's a chance you can hurt yourself and others. But I want the knife. No, it's coming off. Sometimes love hurts. And then you go down that little rabbit hole, and sometimes that's where the spirit takes you, and that's where, like, the side quest is the journey.
So that in itself could be fine, but again, your lesson's gone.
Gone. It's gone.
Yeah, 2 or
And
3 of
that's-
them.
I think
yeah.
we need to. I think we're going to need to expect that nothing's going to go as planned. If we're pretty much, if we're doing the right thing, I think nothing's going to go as planned, and we should probably just like accept that that's the way that it's going to go. I'm okay with that, because I think we need to go to those places where the spirit and the discussion and everything directs. Not just like, today we're talking about love. Well, I have a Ferrari that I love. Cool, let's talk about Ferraris. Not like that,
Oh,
but
imagine
like,
how much the teacher will have to rein in those things. Some guy, I've got a couple in my ward that just arc up on random topics, and then you got to be like that.
and sometimes they take a lot of time doing it too.
Yeah, exactly. And he's talking nonsense.
And when
You
you
know?
had an hour, you might be able to let them go a little
Yeah,
bit, but
You'd
with
let him go
25
for
minutes,
yeah.
you're just gonna
25
have to
minutes, I'll be like,
you gotta. I'm sorry, no,
Yeah.
gotta cut you off.
Yeah.
And people's
Think
feelings are
about
gonna get
this.
hurt.
How many minutes has it been since we started this rant?
Yeah,
Yeah, this is a lesson
25
done.
minutes. Yeah, less than
Done.
on.
Think about this. How many times have we done like an online fireside where someone like Andy has jumped in just to like add their testimony, and they've spoken for 45
30
minutes?
minutes. Yeah, 45 minutes is just
That's 2 lessons.
Yep, gone.
Just to jump in and go, oh, hey, I just wanted to add my 2 cents, or I'm just jumping in to add my testimony. 2 lessons are
And
gone.
every class has someone that loves to pipe up
Long-winded.
and give their
Yep.
yeah. You know it.
And when
So,
people know there's only 25 minutes, do you know what they're going to do? They're going
Not
to use the
call 'em.
whole time.
What's going to end up happening is that you're going to have people just not call on them because they're just going to know, be like, Tom, we know like where this is going to go.
Yeah.
We just don't have time for this. And then what's going to end up happening next, feelings
Hurt
are going to get
feelings.
hurt. And
Yep.
then what's ultimately going to happen is that Tom's not even going to raise his hand anymore. Tom's just
Yep.
going to start talking. He's just going to be like, blah, 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 because, some of these people are
I'm not
70 years old and they have
I've
not
not
been
let him
told.
talk long.
Exactly right. Some of these people are 50, 70-year-old. They've never been told that they can't stop. And so, and here's the thing. I don't want people to have hurt feelings. And maybe that's what you guys don't
Oh, yeah.
understand. You think
No,
I'm
no.
mean?
Of course not.
I don't want people to have hurt feelings. So, like, you need to think about these things to try to prevent hurt feelings. That we're going to do it. We're going to sustain it. But, like, I don't want to have people with the hurt feelings. And I know it's going to happen. And that.
I'm not allowed to talk. I'm not allowed to be long-winded. Hold my book a moment.
Yes. So we got to be prepared for this. This is
Gotta
all
be
coming.
This is all coming.
Yeah. Anyway, it'll be interesting, right? We'll see. Got a couple months to prepare for it. Big changes, whatever. Heck, with the way things are going in the world, maybe we won't get there.
Please.
That's what I keep thinking.
Please.
They've just given us something to hang on to, but maybe we won't actually quite get there.
Which brings us to our next segment. Channel 3, brothers. The
Yeah,
news of the
not
week.
yet. Not yet.
It's not the next. Anyway.
In
Carry on.
3 months, it'll be a blockade has been put on the blockade on the blockade.
Yeah. The world is crumbling.
The Strait of Trump instead of the Strait of
Trump.
Hormuz. The Strait of Trump has been opened.
Straight of Trump moves.
The Strait of America.
Yeah. My gosh, it's so true.
It's
It
more
just names
America
it,
than
takes
the Middle
everything.
East.
And Greenland's been renamed America Land, and you know.
Oh gosh.
All right, let's crack this one.
Comment of the week. Yeah, yeah. Yay!
That's a long.
Yeah, you got me.
That
It's
one.
like
All right.
it's like an Ariba, Ariba. That's good. All right.
There we go. Here we go.
Yeah.
All right. Can Ammon see that or no?
I've got it on my document, so I'm good.
But this isn't even right. Somebody opened the
It
wrong
was-
thing. Was it right?
It was right. It was, and then it changed.
Yeah.
Oh,
We need the screen to go. Beep, technical difficulties. Beep, the colored thing.
we are experiencing technical difficulties. Please bear with us.
We'll be right back.
We didn't want to, yeah, Topher throws out another song. Yeah. We are back. All right. All right, Ammon, we'll read that. This one's from
Yes,
Jacob.
yeah, I got it. Yep. Easy. All right. Comment of the week. This is from Jacob Wiglama. He says, I was just talking to a lifelong rancher in Scipio, Utah. We told him we were planning on getting a milk cow. He spent the next 30 minutes telling us to get milk from Walmart and that there has been false teachers telling us calamity would come since the 70s when he was in school. How God made it possible through science to feed the world and have abundance. How we didn't need to worry about food storages and homesteading was dumb. I just don't get it. Even the small town LDS population feels invincible and has no awareness nor give credibility of or to the prophecies in the scriptures concerning the last days. Contempt for scriptures, reverence for wealth. Zzz. They're all falling asleep. They're all falling asleep. Yep. There is
Crazy.
complacency. Let me just jump in here and just say that I've seen this very strongly in the areas that I've lived in as well. There's something about the boomers that has drawn up a huge amount of contempt against the Lord, the prophet, the church, because decades ago, I guess this is all like post-World War and like during the Cold War era and all that sort of thing, they all went super, super hard, spending all what they thought was a lot of money and time and effort building up their storages and their temporal preparations and stuff like that. And then moving into the early 2000s, they hadn't used it. And a lot of them were like rotting or just unused or taking up space. And as the boomers sort of moved into that time of their lives where they start cleaning out clutter and thinking about, their next vacation and what they're going to do with their ridiculous amount of money in their retirement and this, all the things that they're worried about in the latter stages of their lives, they all had this contempt again against the Lord, the prophet, the church for their storage, for their temporal preparations, and had this concept that because I didn't need it, because I didn't use it, it was never needed. And none of you should do it because it's all a massive waste of time. Like, because we never experienced the calamity, it means that you're an idiot if you prepare for one, which is like, that's seriously the craziest thing you could ever imagine.
Grateful that they didn't experience the calamity. You know what I mean? Like, yeah.
It's not the way they see it.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, pretty much not everyone, but whenever I talk to someone that prepared really well, like decades ago, most of them have this real contempt against the Lord for having taken the time and financial means to have prepared for it because they didn't use it, which is literally the dumbest thing you could ever imagine.
many times in real life. Yeah.
And how much worse is it than when someone younger person comes along and they're like, "Oh yeah, I know that you had a milk cow or you've done this or that. I'm thinking you're doing the same." Like I can even tell you this: our mother was thinking about getting a bit of property because we kept saying to her, like, "You're the matriarch of the family, you've got the means. If and you love this whole off grid lifestyle and being prepared and stuff like that. Hey, mum, would you think about getting a bit of property?" And then we could all come down there and we could do up some trees and we could do up like a maybe like an orchard and some chickens and stuff like that. We can even put like a cabin on the property. We can do, we can do some stuff together here. And as the matriarch, like you've built up the means to sort of get this started for us, and we can all chip in. And I remember having these conversations with our mum, and so she went to somebody in the church who'd been doing this for decades, and she goes, "Oh, what's your opinion on this?" And he's a boomer as well, and he goes, just prepare as best you can with what you have. Don't make any big changes because I don't think but it's actually a lot of work to do this stuff. And then when my mum heard that, she's like, "Oh, cool, yeah, I'm not doing anything."
Yeah. That's
And
so
and the
mum.
whole thing just ended, and that was it. Because boomer to boomer, he's like because he spent decades doing all the things. He's like, "Yeah, no, don't do it. Just do what you can with what you have." And my mum's like, "Yeah, cool, cool. I'm not doing it."
Yeah.
And
She bought a house instead.
so now she just lives in a little square box and does nothing, and we never got anywhere. So
Love you, mum.
carry on. Love you, mum.
Yeah, but what's with it isn't it interesting? Now that's mum that is mum to a T though, going to other people for advice. She'll take the most random advice from people. It's really strange, but I feel like I don't want to sound sexist here, but I feel like women hear me out. But what is
Nah,
it?
I'm turning it off.
Maybe I'm wrong,
I clicked
but
this
maybe
accidentally, and now I'm out.
I feel like I don't know. Women especially though will go to people for advice and take I don't know bad advice. I don't, and maybe it's a real bad generalization. Um, but that's what she certainly does and did do that. But I think to your point that you made, I think that's correct. I think the boomers in particular, because the church has been saying to have this, be prepared for a long, long, long time. And to the credit of these boomers, they did it. The church used to focus heavily on food storage. Like our parents we had a massive shed on our property, and it had so much wheat and rice and salt and honey, buckets of honey, in the shed for years. And then our parents got divorced, and then you know what happened to all that? It got thrown in the bin. And so I can understand because they've been doing this forever, they were faithful doing it forever, and then nothing happened. I can kind of get that. It's still wrong, but they were pretty faithful in doing it. But they become jaded, jaded because of how long they've been doing this for and nothing's happened. But that's
Mm.
kind of the test, isn't it? That's kind of the point. Like it's probably not the right parable, but if the homeowner knows when the thief comes, he'll be prepared. There's no, he'll be waiting, he'll be waiting. The thing is that the thief will come when you're not expecting it, it's the same thing that's going to happen with the second coming. It's going to happen with the tribulations that we're all going to experience at some point, which look are probably already starting. My fuel costs $400 a liter, so I think we're already we're already getting there. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, and I have seen
How
and
many
felt
hot dogs per rodeo does that translate to?
exactly. But I've just anecdotally also felt and seen and get that feel from many people that I think like thankfully your ward, Ammon, like for your ward in particular, which will soon hopefully be my ward, very good with their temporal prep. They've had activities of we've been to them, like at least they're talking about it my ward, and I've talked about this before. My ward don't do none of this because we're focusing on other issues altogether. But so it's not all is lost yet, but I do get that feel, and I've heard definitely that anecdotally in conversation of people being just jaded because nothing's ever happened. They've done all the work and nothing's ever happened, and you know what? Because this guy's right. God made it possible to feed the whole world and have abundance. Yeah, I would agree that it's totally possible for the world, and the world creates enough food for everyone. But it doesn't happen. It won't, and also that's not the point because tribulations are going to come and there will be no food. What are you going to do when there's a famine? 4 years, you know? Anyway, so it's just the wrong mentality and it's kind of rough. But this is, can you bear it for long enough? Do you know what I mean? Like how, you've got to stick it out. Can you bear that for long enough? I don't know how to explain it, but they're giving up. It's a giving up. I've been doing this forever. I'm giving up. No, well, that's wrong. You got to keep going. I'm
You wanna
invincible.
you want something that's really gonna tick everyone off? Here we go. Here's
Yes.
what's really gonna tick people off. That what you're describe well, look at that emoji down there for the 20. That's supposed to say that's not supposed to say what some kind of Islam, whatever the heck that is down there. Um what is that? What
What was it
what
meant to be? Like
what
a
was it?
car crash or something?
Yeah, it's no it just said lost. That's all it said. It was a sign that
Oh.
just said lost. Anyway, so what is that? AI is so funny. So here's the thing. Even what you're describing right now with them being obedient to the task, but the task was strenuous for them and hard, and they were just doing it because they of the catastrophe that was coming, that's a terrestrial lifestyle. That's what people don't it's going to upset people. It's not just in the obtaining of the goods, it's the actual lifestyle. This is what people don't want to hear. What we've bought into is the lifestyle of Babylon. This is not living after the manner of happiness. So when we say, oh, they've told us to be food storage for the last 50 years or whatever, that's wrong. Go back to Adam. It is, you shall live by the sweat of your brow. That is, we live in Babylon where we go off work for Babylon. We get money. We get money. We buy food from farmer. That is not how it's described anywhere in the book. Go through and read the Book of Mormon and just find out where that is. Just find out where that is. Everywhere where there's been a religious group of people, the C9 or whatever the wage was, the daily wage was always tied to wheat. It was always tied to how much would it cost to feed a family or a person for a day. It was always tied to the concept of food. It was always food. And it was always, can you get to land? If you go back to President Kimball, it wasn't just we need to get a food storage. The gardening was included in the priesthood manuals as an act of the priesthood. That was just President Kimball. This isn't just like this, oh, we're supposed to do this thing because we're planning for a catastrophe. We're supposed to do this thing because this is what God does. God loves life. God is out there with life that we're supposed to love working and toiling and learning to put a seed in, loving it, cultivating it from seedling to worse. That is living after the manner of happiness. That is what it means. And so this idea of like, oh, we're supposed to do this thing because of this calamity that's coming, that's a terrestrial thing. Okay, I hope it works. But far too often, it's like even with Zion or Bust, people show up whenever there's something like COVID, and people all of a sudden wake up. But it's like they're only doing the task to avoid a consequence. It's not because they genuinely love something. It's not because it's who they are. It's not because of the lifestyle. And you find that out. They're a prescriptor that I know, who a Christian, if you will, who may or may not have homesteaded. That as soon as he got a little bit of money, he sold the homestead and moved into the city. So he learned nothing. He learned absolutely nothing. Oh, and not only that, the hypocrisy of such an act. Oh, farmsteading and living independent so important, except when you got money, then trust money in the bank because that's more valuable. So, the idea of this is that this isn't just people are falling asleep at a wheel. This is a law of the gospel that determines where you're going to go after this life. And so we need to take this stuff a lot more seriously than we need to, than we currently are, and myself included. This is one of those ones that people are like, oh well, this is one of those ones that I really had to repent of. I never gardened. I never really did this stuff. And I started taking the gospel really seriously about 15, with certain aspects, all of it, the student manuals and stuff. And I came across this and I was like, what the heck is even this? Like, well, what is Kimball talking about here? And it was like talk after Maxwell. And it was like, it isn't just about the food storage. It is about learning to garden. It is about learning to stand independent of all creatures. And when you start to really understand the prophecies in the Book of Mormon, in the Book of Revelation, how you're going to have to receive the mark of the beast and stuff, and how Zion stands independent, it's like there's a reason why. It wasn't just about the food storage boomers. It was about, can you learn to homeschool? Can you learn to produce more stuff yourself? It was more than that. But we just fought the food storage for so long that that's all we got, and I think that's horribly sad, because I'll tell you what, one of, and Ashley is right behind me. She probably could chirp in, but I'll tell you one of the most happy or joyful experiences I've had parenting, is my kids gardening, and Ashley hated the idea of gardening, and now it's become one of her favorite things to go out and like, ooh, let's check the plants, and it's
she's definitely a happy little gardener, Ashley.
yeah, it's a happy gardener thing. You realize how peaceful it is. You realize you work your butt off, you're sweating, and it's miserable, but at the same time, there is just a level of peace that comes from that. And Toe Furnace, that's how he's moving out into the country. There is something real there. There is something real there. And it is truly living after the manner of happiness. So like it's real. I can testify it's real.
Yeah, I can't wait to get out there, man. Like we're gonna have a massive vegetable garden, fruit trees, like an orchard. We're gonna have a beehive, and then we're not sure about animals yet. We're gonna have chickens for sure, and then probably maybe some other things as well. Who knows what? Like I don't know at this point. Gonna try have a water bore so that we've got basically unlimited water of our own. We have a 110,000 liter water tank on the property as well already, and going to have a metric butt ton. That's a Australian measurement.
Unit of measure. That's about that's 400 bald eagles in weight.
Going to have a metric butt ton of solar on the roof and a battery. It's going to be like really sort of self-sufficient sort of thing. I can't wait. And I've always, and so just to your point about how special gardening is, it is interesting. I don't think about this very often, but I've never had any space. Like my whole marriage, and even since having kids, we've never had any room. This will be the first time we've had some space. Like we lived in an apartment, and then we lived in a pretty small house that had a tiny little courtyard for a back. It was tiny, but you know what we did? We renovated it. I can't remember. We must have talked about this in the
the garden boxes.
Yep. Yeah, turned it into garden planter boxes, and then we put a big archway there, and we grew beans on that, and we grew a whole bunch of vegetables and things, and just the joy there was in the family when there was beans all of a sudden growing on this bean plant. It was like every day, is there beans? Like it's really quite something, and I look forward to doing that on a bigger scale, and so being self-sufficient, man, right. We won't be completely self-sufficient, obviously. That's really, really hard to do, but to the extent that we can be, we will be, So I really look forward to that. Yeah.
It's hard not to believe. It's hard not to believe in God when you're in nature. Like I'm sorry, it really is. And when you're looking at beans growing, when you put in all this work and it's growing, and I've just sat there a couple times in the garden and just been like, I couldn't like. I don't even understand how this, like, I understand, but I don't understand how this works. This is a miracle. Like, the life is a miracle. And you just don't get that when you're in a box. Sorry. You're in a cubicle. It all makes a lot of sense. I know how this box was made. I can make it. It's pretty simple. So it's magical. It's magical. And that breaks my heart. It does. It really does. It breaks my heart that people are just like, oh, I don't want to do a food storage. It's like, oh, it's even more than that.
Yeah.
We love you, boomers, mom and dad. We love you, but you've forfeited the way of happiness. It's a shame
And then made it really hard for the younger generation to have any
to
desire
do
to
it,
get into it because you've talked them out of it.
and then priced the rest out.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, and it's one thing to go, oh, like I've failed at this, I don't want to keep doing this, but then to pass that mentality down, that's brutal. Yeah. All
Yeah.
right.
Questions. Baby's got a question. Have you got a question? Well, here's a place to get it answered. It's the question of the week. The week.
Baby's got a question.
Question.
I love that. I love that line.
It good.
Do you want me to
A
read
lot.
this?
Yeah, you can
Do
read
you
it.
want me
Yeah.
to read this because you're probably going to end up answering it, I think. So I'll read it. I'll read it, and then I have a feeling, yeah, because the question's basically to you, I think so. All right. Question of the week comes from Lynette Savage, W4S. I asked a question to you, Micah, if you thought that we would be asked to buy the treasure in the field, or if a call would go out to build New Jerusalem, and you mentioned Joseph Smith's understanding that parable but didn't expand. Can you expand upon that? Because as I have been studying, I have found multiple examples and scripture about a call. For example, the parable of the 10 virgins, the bridegroom cometh, go ye out to meet him, and the wedding feast, the Lord sent his servant out to inform the guests to come to the the feast was ready. I would love to know what your understanding is on that. Thanks. Thanks, Lynette.
You gonna answer that, Ammon?
Yeah, 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 yeah,
Oh,
yeah, 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 yeah. Weak.
yeah. Well, I think la. Yeah, I think that this is a big one to answer in one time. Ashley actually made this image, so this is actually one of the first times I'm reading this too. So this one's a big one. The 10 virgins one, a big part of that is understanding that is the same thing, living after the manner of happiness, temporal prep, like go back to the understanding the 10 virgins one. So, but as you're saying about the treasure in the field, and so the Joseph Smith understanding of that when he taught about this was that the treasure in the field was literally plots of land. And so for people who were trying to come together to build Zion, and be that the New Jerusalem or other places, because he made it clear that there were saints everywhere living after this pattern, not just going to Jackson County, but other places as well. So, will this take place in Jackson County? Yes, we've obviously made that clear, our position on that, or rather, Joseph Smith and Jesus' position on that. But does it also apply uh, beyond that? And I would say it's ludicrous to assume it doesn't. It's like saying okay, well, the law of consecration is something that it says in the Doctrine and Covenants will not be instituted in its fullness again until we redeem Zion and get back to Jackson County. Okay, but does that mean that we don't have aspects of it today? Does that mean we don't have to be willing to live it today? I think that's ludicrous to say that it's just completely ignored until Zion, the New Jerusalem, right? And so, but how do you do it? So you live the law of consecration by not practicing priestcraft, giving of yourself, donating 100% of your time, giving everything you have, and living the law of consecration with your family and with your extended family and with your loved ones as much as you can. And this is the exact same thing with the treasure in the field. Are you finding people who likewise come together and who are trying to build communities, who are trying to build like-minded communities, and and build, by that treasure? And it just like, not to beat on a dead horse here with Topher, but it's like Topher's doing the same thing, selling all that he has, buying this field because of a treasure that he believes is in the field. Like, do we understand the metaphor here? The it's the earth. It is the treasures in the earth. There's a treasure in holding that land because I can plant orchards and I can because the living after the manner of happiness is there. So you sell all you have for a piece of land so that you can get together and do that. And so do we believe in both these things happening? Yes. And if you go back to the President Ezra Taft Benson quote, which I absolutely love, I'm going to stop sharing this for a second here. I'll try to make this short. This will be the last thing I say on this. The Ezra Taft Benson quote here. Now I've changed a few words in here, but this is really important that you need to understand. People go, "Oh, but I can live in the world. I can do all these things, and when the call comes, I'll just leave." Well, here's a problem with that. Okay, Ezra Taft Benson taught, and I've just changed a few words here because he was talking about the fight for freedom, but it's exactly the same concept. He says this, okay? Not in 1965 in a talk called Not Commanded in All Things, he said, and now as to the last neutralizer that the devil uses most effectively, it is simply this. Don't do anything in the fight for Zion, the tower, the New Jerusalem, living after the manner of happiness, the fight for freedom. Take your pick. Don't do anything for this fight until the church sets up its own specific program to that end. This brings us right back to the scriptures I opened with today, to those slothful servants who will not do anything until they are compelled in all things, or as you put out here, until they're called. Maybe the Lord will never set up a specific church program for that purpose, for the purpose of the redemption of Zion, for the building of these, buying and purchasing of these fields, or for the gathering of those who feared the Lord, etc. Like maybe he's never going to set up those programs. Perhaps if he set one up at this time, it might split the church asunder, and perhaps he does not want that to happen yet, for not all the wheat and tares are fully ripe. And obviously we know that the olive trees have not yet been damaged yet in the parable of the nobleman and his olive trees, right? The prophet Joseph Smith declared, "It will be the elders of Israel who will step forward to redeem Zion, not the church." Now, this is really important. He's saying it's not just simply the church, it's going to be a subset in the church. And have we elders been warned? Yes, we have. And have we elders been given the guidelines? Yes, indeed, we have. And besides, if the church should ever inaugurate a program, then this is the important part. So if there ever is a call, this is what's important, okay? If the church should ever inaugurate a program, who do you think would be the forefront to get it moving? It would not be those who were sitting on the sidelines prior to that time, or those who were appeasing the enemy, or those nominal members going through simply the motions. It would be those choice spirits who, not waiting to be commanded in all things, use their own free will, the counsel of the prophets and the Spirit of the Lord as guidelines, and who entered the battle in a good cause and brought to pass much righteousness in Zion's cause. It would be those who gathered outside simply the church, fearing the Lord, thinking upon his name, perfecting the spirit of prophecy, etc. These are those who are going to be called to do this. And so, like, this idea that, like, do we believe in both? Yes, we believe there's going to be a call. There's going to be a redemption of Zion. We also know who's going to be doing this. It's going to be the Lord and Joseph Smith, ultimately. And it's going to be a subset in the church. We know all this. But who do we think is going to be the one leading this? It's not going to be those, I'm sorry, that made the choice to live deliciously in Babylon. It will be those who did everything within their power to already move in this direction.
Yeah, perfect. Yep. We've talked about this in so much detail in so many different ways over the past couple of years. And there's so many things that go through my mind in response to this and in addition to what you've said. And one of those things in the most basic form is, did not President Nelson most recently say to us that we need to become the people who are ready, worthy, and able to receive the Lord at his coming? Doesn't the Lord need us to become that righteous group of people right now in preparation for the day when he calls those to return to build Jackson County, Missouri, and the New Jerusalem? If we haven't become that righteous people who are already putting our value in the land, already putting our value and trust in Zion of the future, already willing to accept the full celestial doctrine, willing to follow full celestial doctrine that maybe we haven't even been instructed to follow yet, but we've learned it, we've understood it, we're willing. If we haven't done all those things yet, and we're not living that way, and we're not actually prepared, either the call doesn't come, or it doesn't come to us, or it doesn't come to us first. Any number of those things, which means the call was actually useless. Like waiting for a call, so to speak, is actually pointless. So I don't. So when we talk about the potential of like a call to something like this, I think it's always important to remember that the call is worth nothing without the preparation. So if that's the case, and you're having a debate between preparation and call, well, the whole conversation is pointless. The whole conversation is pointless. It's the call and it's the preparation. If you have to say which one is it, or which one's first, or which one matters, I think you've missed the point a little bit. Yeah, so putting aside how it's going to happen and who's responsible and who's going to lead it and all that, which we already know, Micah went into, the most important thing is, who are you right now in preparation for a call to come? What are we doing right now to become that people worthy, ready, and able to receive the Lord? And where's the Lord going to be? On his throne. Where's the throne? Jackson County, Missouri, which is the location of the New Jerusalem. Who gets to go to the New Jerusalem? Those who are willing and ready and able to follow and accept celestial law. Are you at that point? If the answer is no, then what does a call matter? You can't, it's not one way or the other. Like, it's both. You got to have the preparation, be ready, be the guy. And yeah, when the call comes, like you're the guy.
I think the
But you're not
phraseology there,
sitting
the way we
waiting
use
for a
it's
call.
wrong. I think the what you're saying is dead on. I think the phraseology, the way we say it's wrong. I think that what you're describing there isn't actually a call. The call's going out right now. Right then,
That's right.
that's the problem. That's not actually
Yeah.
we call it a calling, but it's like what actually is happening
Yeah.
there is the chosen are revealed. Like
Yes.
we're called right now. Right then,
Yeah.
the chosen are revealed.
Mm.
That's the parable of the wedding feast. The call went out to everyone. It went out to the Lord's chosen people first. The Lord's chosen people were called. They
No.
didn't come, or they came unprepared, and then it extended to everybody, and then it was revealed who was chosen.
Yeah. I'm
Yep.
busy. I got some other thing going on. I got a wedding to attend, or whatever.
They didn't have on the wedding garment.
The only other thing I'll say on this is it's going to be the elders that do this redeeming, or answer the call. I think it's a really good point that you made just there about the call's already gone out. Because what I was going to say is, we can't expect, and I think I kind of talked about this, like we're always hoping that at General Conference there'll be like a call. Like I think people think like at General Conference they're going to go, now's the time we're going to redeem Zion, and I just don't think anything like that's ever going to happen. I just don't think, like, the church isn't going to set up an official program for elders of Zion to prepare to redeem Zion. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's never going to happen. So who's responsible? Who is the responsibility on? Is it on the church to set up a program for you to prepare yourself to be the elder that can be called to Zion? No, because that's not going to happen. They're not going to do that. They're not going to have a thing for that. They're not going to prepare you any further than you are now. It's on you. It's on us to prepare ourselves now for the call. Yeah. And it's as simple as that. Yeah. If we keep expecting them to like do something for us, do you know what I mean? The church will turn me into what I need to be. Yeah, well, they are. They're doing it right now. If you let it. Maybe
Wake up!
Maybe
It's
maybe
happening
attend
now.
church maybe attend church and maybe attend your classes. I don't know. Maybe do your things. I don't know.
And by the way, we're saying you. We're not talking to you, Lynette. So just I do this all the time. We're talking about myself.
The royal you, always myself included. Yeah.
Yeah, and elders. Yep. So
Yes. Could really use a priesthood session though, a conference to really put them elders
Whip
in
us into
line.
shape.
Though, I tell you.
shut your
Yeah.
mouth, Topher, and sustain.
So that is me sustaining. That's hey, conference is great, but you know what?
You know,
I could use some more guidance.
but I could use a bit of. But wait, there's more.
I need a butt kicking every now and then. You know, where's the old
You know
We all
fashioned?
benefit from that.
You know what I
Need
could
some
use a little
Smith
bit of?
W. Kimball. What?
Channel 3. That's what I think I could use a little bit of. I just need a little bit of.
Tune in to Channel Free, Channel Free Brothers for this week's headlines. With your anchors Topher, Micah, and Evan. Get your week's headlines. Channel Free. Yeah.
That's the best one though. It's so good.
Channel 3 brothers.
Channel 3.
I say that about every one of these. They're so good.
Oh man.
Not to toot my own horn. But the three brothers. Oh no.
It happened again. Oh, not yet.
What have I done?
Delete podcast. Scrap
Oh,
it.
it says delete the file. Hilarious.
That's
hilarious.
it. Scrap it. Cut. We're out.
You know what it is? It's when I have to share it. What I've done to make it so that we can see the three brothers a little bit bigger on the side has made it a lot harder for me to like see what's going on the screen. But I like the fact that we can see the three brothers better, so I'm not gonna change that.
The three. Got it. Actually, I did actually listen to a bit of the podcast from last week, but I didn't pay attention to the visuals. Did it look bigger? I can't even
They
remember.
definitely got bigger on the side.
Oh, good.
We
Okay,
definitely are bigger. Three brother
Nice.
bigger.
I read the news last week. Do you want to do it this weekend?
Yeah, happy to. Okay. Number 1, USA announces new moon mission. Public asks, didn't we already fake this? Officials insist this one is even more real, featuring upgraded CGI and better camera angles. AI is a lot better now. They don't need to create it in a Hollywood basement this time.
Oh,
You know,
these are good.
What's
to
really
believe
funny
anymore?
is, dude, I'll tell you this, man. I don't believe anything anymore. Okay.
No, I know
I
you
don't
can't.
believe anything anymore. I certainly don't believe the government. I really don't believe and trust NASA. And even most recently, I saw a video of someone saying, I was super dedicated and offended when someone was like, "Hey, no, we never went to the moon." And then the guy told me that, something about that there's the Van something belt that's around the Earth. I can't remember
Radiation belt. Yeah.
the
Van
radiation
Allen.
belt.
Yeah. Van Allen. Yep.
Van Allen radiation belt, and that person was explaining to me that the Van Allen radiation belt has like a heat temperature or radiation temperature or something of something like 20,000 Kelvin, and the ability for an aluminium, which they said that the moon lander or the moon rocket or whatever was surrounded and wrapped in, melts instantly at something like 900 Kelvin. And he's like, he explained to me also that, that going through that belt, that radiation belt, isn't just like a 5-minute, 10-minute thing. It's like a 50-minute thing. And that means that it would
a lethal dose of radiation as well. Yeah.
Correct. And they would have to go through that radiation for 45, 50 minutes one way.
Twice.
And then shed all the weight and everything that they shed, and then turn around, and they'd have to make it again another 45, 50 minutes back through it. And so if aluminium, which they said, was flopping around in the breeze on the moon lander and the rocket and everything, was what that was wrapped in, it would have instantly disintegrated. The people inside the rockets would have instantly melted effectively from radiation. Like and that's not to mention that the boots that were used that touched the ground had a different imprint than the imprint that was left. the fact that like the way that they moved wasn't consistent, the fact that the president in real time, which we couldn't do in 2026, in real time was like, "Hello, this is Mr. President. Congratulations for landing on the moon." That it was instantly, you know what I mean? That's back when phones were like,
Yeah,
"Yeah, okay,"
yeah.
or when phones were like, "Get me the president," and there's someone in the background going,
Yeah, literally with cables,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. And at the same
Yeah.
time, the president's like, "Hello, Mr. Armstrong. This is the president from the Oval Office." At the same time, that's happening, which could never have happened in a million years. People are apparently live streaming it from schools around the entire world. And all of a sudden, no one's got the footage, no one saved it, no one. And then someone goes to NASA and goes, "How come you haven't been to the moon?" Again, then it's like, well, we can, but we
We've lost the
actually
technology.
lost the technology to do it. Oh, okay, cool.
Insane.
What about the original tapes so we can like review how they did it and what they did? And we accidentally taped over the original moon landing, the greatest thing that ever happened in human history.
It's
Like,
so
it's come on,
stupid.
man. I don't believe
Seinfeld over them.
nothing. I don't believe any of that garbage. I don't believe this garbage. I don't believe nothing. I don't believe that Trump is Jesus. I don't freaking. I'm out. I'm empty.
It's one of my favorite conspiracies.
Rant of the week. Yep.
It's crazy, eh? It's honestly crazy. So I tell you what, like here's the thing, man. So I think this mission they just did a flyby, right? Like they just went around the moon, slingshot around it or whatever, and then heading back or whatever. And then the next one, I think they're going to land on it or something. I don't know what the point of that is, but even if they do, even if it actually happens now, because I do really have a lot of issues with the first one. Even if they actually land on the moon now, I'm still not even going to believe it. Do you know what I mean? Like they can.
Yeah, I'm so done.
Like I just like what am I supposed to do? Like I just and then and here's the other problem with disinformation and stuff too, because they had a video of them while they were traveling, doing their things they do in the space shuttle or whatever with zero gravity and stuff. But then there's weird videos where there's like it's almost like there's a green screen and you're like, what's going on here? But I'm like, is people just throwing disinformation in there to muddy the waters, or is that actually the case? Like, I just don't know. Like, and I don't know what to believe. And who has the time to go and drill into little things like this and figure out what's real and what's not? Like, no one has the time or the inclination. I don't care enough. But I just
And
I'm done.
doctrinally, let alone doctrinally, where we know that angels and people cannot administer or go to planets in which they're not assigned. And it's like, okay, does that include the moon?
Mm.
Like, does that include the moon? Like, because it seems like, like that's
It ought to include the moon. Mm.
that seems like a celestial planet, but yeah. I just don't understand. My biggest thing with the conspiracy is that I think it's fun. I laugh at it. People who take it so seriously, who are just like, if you don't believe we go on the moon, like, blah. It's like, man, is that really what your generation? You really it really
It's the
meant
hill they
that
wanna
much
die
to
on.
you?
It was
you
a
didn't even do
defining, like
anything.
in '69, it was a defining moment for them. You know what I mean? And they probably
Oh,
cling
yeah.
to that like this is
Yeah.
a real thing. This is based my whole life on the fact that this was real. America, America.
Yeah, like you kind of look at it and just go, no wonder they call us Goyim. Like the boomers kind of just proved all that. But the big thing for me is that with the conspiracies, that I just don't understand the ones that we choose to believe and the ones that we choose not to believe. I just don't get it. The same people, the same boomers who are like, oh my goodness, like I can't believe you believe they faked the moon landing. Imagine how many people they would have to get to lie about it, and it's like a couple hundred. Like really not as many as you think it would take. And it's like, but the vaccine is gonna give you smallpox and it's gonna cause you to explode and it's actually killing everyone. And it's like, do you like the moon landing? There's a reason, geopolitical reason why you'd lie about this. They were moon racing the communists. There's a geopolitical reason to lie about this as well. There isn't a financial reason to lie about the vaccine. Like, this is what you need to wrap your head around. Like, oh, well, Pfizer and Johnson, they're all protected. No, they're not. They're still businesses. They still have to make money. It doesn't make sense to kill your customers unless like with tobacco, at least you make it very addicting. Vaccines aren't addicting. They need to do their job. So it's like, it's just, if you the picking and choosing is what's hilarious to me. It's just hilarious to me. Like, oh, we most certainly landed on the moon, but like, the the COVID vaccine is causing people's hearts to stop. It's like, okay, all right, boomer.
Them silly goyim wasting their time flying to the moon. Let them spend their time and money flying to the moon.
Isn't it insane? This was insane. If this is real, if we did really go to the moon, if we flying around the moon, how many people even really cared about this? Like, I remember the people who didn't even
No
know
one.
that this mission happened. No one cared. This is
No one
insane.
cares.
Should spend money on more than this, you know what I mean?
Yeah, no one cares. It's just bleh, who cares? I bet you've heard of number two. More people have heard of number two and have a more visceral reaction to it than number one. Like that's it, which is crazy. But
I
anyway,
don't even think NASA could have pumped up their tires on it before doing it anyway, because they're trying to say, hey, we're about to do something that's way less important than what we've said we've done in the past. So how could they even pump their tires up on it? Because people would be even more suspicious to be like, oh, that's really impressive, is it?
yeah,
It's
exactly.
it's like, hey, 100 million years ago, we took a bike and we jumped the Grand Canyon. But guess what we're doing today, guys? We're going to ride our bike on the edge of the Grand Canyon. So get
Exactly.
really excited about it. Everyone's like, well, I don't care. You jumped it, didn't you?
That's a great point. Yeah.
Great point.
Pretty sure you jumped it.
or did you? That's the
You
thing.
said, you told us you jumped.
Just lying.
We can't
Yeah,
find the
you were
footage.
making it
You've
up
taped
last
over
time.
the
You're too
footage.
scared to do it.
E.T.
Yeah.
They used
Yeah,
the footage
and-
in E.T.
And yeah, and the video footage of you jumping the Grand Canyon was literally like a guy on strings going like a puppet.
Uh, wow, I remember viewing that so much more different when I was 12 and 10 in school. Yeah. uh-huh. Uh, all right, number two, Ammon.
Oh yeah, of course. Sorry. Number two, Trump spotted in new portrait as Jesus. Nation unsure whether to laugh or repent. Supporters call it deeply symbolic. Critics call it deeply something else. It's very
make
good.
heaven, make heaven
Um,
great again. Well,
Trump's responses to this stuff is always the thing that kills me. They're like, "Hey Trump, did you post that?" It's like, "Yeah." It's like, "Did you mean to post a picture of yourself as Jesus?" And he's like, no, I'm supposed to be a doctor."
I was supposed to be a doctor.
And there's not a human on earth that has a logical brain that would ever believe that. So don't you at some point just go, "Oh yeah, I get it's bad optics, my bad." Do you just never concede ever? If that's the way it goes, then doesn't that just show like the hypocrisy and how ridiculous this is? Because if
Right
he
after
carries
calling
that
a group
into,
of people low IQ.
yeah, because if he carries that same energy into stuff that doesn't matter at all, then keep in mind that same energy applies to what is he telling us about Iran, the war in Iran that's not true, which we all see through, by the way. Every single person out there sees through this garbage. But then we know when he's telling us the sun ain't shining when it's shining on something that's really, really important, that we can't trust him. Because he can't even admit that he posted a picture of himself as Jesus. Does that make sense?
In a spat with the Pope.
Yeah.
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 Yeah,
Fight the
that's
Pope.
fine.
Okay, good idea.
that's
Fight the Pope.
crazy.
Fighting the Pope and you make yourself a picture of you with Jesus and you'll be like, what? Jesus? It's like, oh my goodness. It's dude, like right after calling a bunch of people low IQ. So here's the deal. Here's the deal. Either Trump is also very low IQ, or he knew and he's clearly lying. Like that's what's going on here. And I don't know what's worse, but anyway.
Hmm.
I at the or here's the other option, which maybe even more terrifying. He has seen so few pictures of Jesus that he actually had no idea. Take your pick of those three, which is actually and so few doctors that he thought that's how they were dressed.
You know what? If the one thing that gives potentially a tiny bit of credence to the fact that he could have just been a total ignoramus here is that he also went on a program this week and they asked him, "Hey, Trump, you're a Christian, like, and you're always going on about it. What's one of your favorite Bible verses?" And he's like, that's personal. I don't want to get in. I don't want I don't want to get into that. That kind of leads credence to the question, like, is he actually just totally ignorant of all of these things? And the answer might be yes. Which like you said, Micah, either way, like he's ignorant and low IQ, and that presents its own problems, or he did it intentionally and there's other problems. Who knows which one's worse, but they're both bad.
And there's always the subtext of both of those, that he might or most likely is Jewish. So there's also that. So might not even be Christian. So he actually has said on a case that he's Jewish. His daughter's Jewish, converted to Judaism, married a Jew. So
Well,
maybe
that also makes sense.
So maybe he does view himself as the Messianic
Oh boy.
symbol. Who knows?
Oh boy.
Make heaven great again. Yeah, here we go.
The White Horseman. Yep. Sorry, carry on. Sorry, Chris, did you want to?
No, you guys have covered it. It's crazy. I honestly wonder. Sometimes I wonder whether to just give him the benefit of the doubt or what. Like, he must be surrounded by people. Someone like what? Do you think Trump really made that picture? It's like he wouldn't have made it, right? So
He said he
people
did.
saw it. Yeah, but it's like, come on, man. Like, he's like 80 years old. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
probably
but
someone
he's
made it.
the,
Went,
he's
lol,
you
and
got to
when he
remember,
went,
he's the dude that
posted.
was like something
Post it.
cov
Send
beef.
it. Send it.
He's the one that's sending all these like late night crazy tweets, and people like,
Yeah.
"Is that you, or is that like one of your staff?" And he's always like, "No, that was me." You'd never lie about it if it made you
It
look
makes
bad.
you wonder.
'Cause
It makes me wonder if he maybe does take credit for stuff that he doesn't do just because he, like, I don't know. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if someone else was just doing stuff and he's like, yeah, it's me. I don't know. Who knows, man? Again, who cares?
none of it's good. Anyway, carry on.
But what
Number
does
three,
matter
Australia
is
down.
is
sorry.
he is making a sacrilegious post about Jesus, and
Yeah.
like if I had ever made a meme about myself as Jesus, people would lose their minds. People would call me a
Oh,
false
yeah.
prophet. People would,
Forever.
and I'm a nobody. But Trump does this, and half the country defends it, like, or whatever. That's the core issue. It's not acceptable. Anyway, moving on.
Very good. Number three, Australia is down to one oil refinery, if you haven't heard. Nation starts eyeing candles and kangaroos for backup. The government urges citizens to remain calm while quietly Googling how to run a country without fuel. So, for those who didn't see, yesterday, one of Australia's only two oil refineries. Yes, you heard that correctly. We are a Western country in 2026 with two oil refineries, and one of them just exploded. So we are not only living in a time where our fuel costs $1 million a litre and no one can afford to drive anywhere, and the government's like, hey guys, you have to the government spends $20 million telling the country, pump up your tires and only go to really important places to help one another.
Explain that. So the government wants to spend 20 million, or did spend 20 million on
Did.
an ad campaign on how people can save fuel.
Pump up
20
your
million.
tires and try and save fuel. They spent $20 million on that.
Well,
When
because
they
they're
were
they're a
offered-
small country. I mean, you can drive from one end to the other in like an hour. It's a tiny little island.
Absolutely abominable. For those that don't know, because people outside of Australia don't really know what Australia is or where it is or how big it is, think about the size of the continental United States. Don't include Alaska, don't include Hawaii. We're about that big. And
North.
our major capital cities are on opposite ends of the country, which means that every single thing that needs to be transported in the country has to cross the entire nation.
Like
So
California,
our
New
trucking,
York.
our supplies and our trucking and everything, if it is created within the country, needs to be transported across the entire contiguous United States of America sized country in order for us just to have what our basic needs. So if we're low on fuel, it means that absolutely everything goes through the roof. So we are in an extremely dire situation as it is because our government has absolutely failed us. Like again, the boomer generation, we don't need temporal preparation. We don't need multiple oil refineries. We get it shipped. We don't need
Just need the
manufacturing
money.
company. Yeah, we don't need manufacturing in our country. We've got China. We don't need our own motor vehicle manufacturing capabilities. So the very last motor vehicle manufacturing plant in Australia closed down a couple of years ago. So we don't manufacture any vehicles. We don't manufacture almost any metal related products. So almost all of our steel and everything,
Everything, man. Everything.
plants
Our
and
best
everything
food,
are
everything. All
closed
our
down and
resources.
outsourced. Almost everything, seriously, all manufacturing in our country is closed. And it comes down to the point, like Trump's always going on about making sure that you guys are energy independent and you have your own independence on your critical infrastructure. Australia almost has no independence on critical infrastructure. And if anything poked at our current infrastructure, everything will fall to pieces. So it's almost like the same conversation. Sorry to rant on this, but the same conversation we've just had about boomers being so upset that they got so well prepared during the decades preceding and never really needed to use it. So now they hate it. They're throwing it away. They're selling it off. They're getting rid of it. The politicians and who are boomers in our country are doing the exact same thing with our country. Oh, we didn't really need that many oil refineries. Get rid of them. Oh, one blew up. We're completely cooked. Now we are completely cooked. Oh, we don't really need a manufacturer here because we can outsource it. We are completely cooked. Again, I'm ranting. The only reason that countries like America did so well when World War II kicked off and you needed to jump into the war is because you'd industrialized into your own manufacturing so powerfully and so heavily that instantly manufacturing capability was converted to wartime use. And you were able to pump out Shermans, Bomber, B-52s, everything that you possibly needed to an extent that you could defend your country and you could conquer other nations. Australia is a massive, massive country filled with natural resources. It's like a giant party that the whole world would love to come and get involved in. And we have no way to defend it. We've got no way to supply it. We've got no way to live off it. We've got no way to build anything. We are dead in the water as it is. And now we've lost one of only 2 oil refineries. And then you might say, what does it take to get another oil refinery? I don't know, probably 20 years and $50 billion. I don't know what it takes. But things aren't looking good and nothing's getting better and our infrastructure sucks and we're in huge trouble. We are dead in the water. Rant over.
And it's too late to start trying to get an oil refinery when you need one now. You know what I mean? Like too late.
You can't start building an oil refinery now. Like you don't build oil refineries in hard times for the future. Like you build oil refineries in good times to ensure that the future is good, you know?
Yeah. It's one of those
Like
things, man.
Yeah.
Go on.
I was just going to say they blew up the oil refineries in, I think it was Qatar or one of those other nations. Iran went and blew up one of the oil refineries there. Oh, I think it might have been a natural gas refinery. And they're like, guys, to the world, guys, you don't really understand. This country produces 20% of the output for natural gas globally. And one of 5 of their plants just got toasted. And they cannot, if they start now and they work as fast as they can't rebuild that within 5 years. And they were producing like 20% of the world's available gas exports or whatever. You don't understand how serious this is. You don't understand. We can't just turn the switch and get it from somewhere else. Like these were the guys that produced this. Without it, we are.
Is this something that happened now?
Yeah, that was about 3 weeks ago,
weeks.
I think.
Yeah.
Dang. Like we're just so fragile. I can't believe how fragile
We're
we
so
are.
fragile.
For a country that can produce literally everything we need, we could produce here, and we do.
We
The
don't
problem
have
is
any.
we
We don't have
export it
anything
all
spare.
raw. Yeah, and
We don't have
export it
anything
all
that's-
raw. We don't even refine most of it. We just get it out. Iron. We get the iron ore out of the ground. We crush it and we ship it and let them smelt it or whatever. Everything. We just get out and just get rid of it. Even our best food, man. Our best food gets in boxes and frozen and shipped elsewhere. And there's a politician, I don't know his name, but I'm like, man, I would vote for this guy. And he's like, man, if we had just taxed correctly, like because like they're not even taxing like exports like properly. And if they had just taxed our oil exports for the past 10 years, we'd have $60 billion or something crazy. But and then we could have used that to make those oil refineries, do whatever, right? Like, we just don't do it. Like, for some reason, someone's making money. And here's the thing: I feel like we've been run by monkeys. Like, who's behind the wheel here? You got monkeys
Yeah.
driving the car, and we're all sitting in the back seat going, "Why?" You know?
With no foresight.
Yeah, like why? I've got no seatbelt.
Mhm.
Yeah, because the people with intelligence, the people with foresight, the people that have the kind of wisdom are typically getting married and having kids and focusing on that. And so like
Yeah. Yeah.
they don't want to be in government. Like they don't
They don't
want
want the
to be
power.
there.
They don't want the.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the people that pursue that are typically not good people. That's the big
Yeah.
conundrum with all this stuff.
Hedonistic, masochistic, and self-aggrandizing people. Go for it.
Which is
Well, and think
why
about this too. How do they get to that point? People are groomed and placed in those positions because they serve the interests of certain groups and individuals. And those certain groups and individuals aren't there because they want them to make the world a better place. They're there because they want the world to support them. And that's not like investing in the future. That's like investing in their industry or cutting red tape for their industry or, giving them some kind of insight or insider knowledge or access. It's never about like, you know, making the world a better place for the future. It's about lining pockets.
correct.
The good news is that I just bought a new saddle for my kangaroo, so
Yes.
it's all good.
So you
We'll
will
be
hop
fine.
you will hop for petrol. That's good. All right.
Uh,
Very good. All right. Sorry, I could go on about this and rant, but we'll keep moving. Number 4, Erica claims massive threat prevented her from coming to an event. Or was she just embarrassed by the poor turnout? Sources confirm attendance still hovering somewhere between awkward and family only turnout.
oh dear.
Yeah,
I did
so
see this.
yeah, for those who don't know, she had an event with JD Vance, and the ticket sales were non-existent, and but she had received critical and information. She had received credible information that her life was in jeopardy, and so she couldn't go to it anymore. But JD Vance, the Vice President of the United States of America with the Secret Service, was also going to be at the event, and he didn't need to cancel.
Hmm. That is suspicious.
That
Don't
is
be
very
suspicious.
interesting. Did they cancel the event? Like, or did he rock up to it?
No, I went
Okay.
ahead. But
They
but
did it?
so the joke is if you see the pictures of it, nobody rocked up. And apparently, Mike, you confirm if this is the case. I'm pretty sure I heard this mentioned. Is it got down to the point where they were like giving the tickets away and like doing anything to try and fill up the seats. And if you look at the pictures, the seats were basically empty.
Please take it.
Yeah, like please
Basically,
come.
exactly what was happening. And by the way, we joke about this. That when Trump was Trump, like full blown Trump, he was selling out. Like he was like everyone was there, lines around the corner,
Yeah,
and Biden's events were dead. And
dead.
we were like, this is real. And we hammered in on it, and we wanted to point it out. This has happened ever since Epstein and the war. The Republican turnouts have been non-existent. They're gone, and we're seeing more of the turnout in the Democrat side. We're gonna get burned over here in the midterm. We're gonna get burned. But yeah, they had this set up so that it was gonna be closed doors at 4 o'clock. That's what they wanted the event to be. So like basically they assumed it was going to be completely packed by 4, and at like 4:30 the guy had taken a picture and he had just walked in and it was like completely empty, and they were basically like just trying to like round people up in the halls because they couldn't fill the section right in front of the stage to get a good image or a good
Oh no.
picture. So I mean, like it's exactly what was happening with the Biden and Kamala stuff. It's exactly what was happening. Nobody wants to see this. JD Vance does not have ground support. Uh, Erica Kirk does not have ground support. She's not
and
Charlie Kirk,
and it's failing.
and it's failing, and you're gonna get burned in the midterm, and you're making the same stupid mistakes as the Democrats. When the Democrats are doing this, what did you do? You just doubled down on the bag of deplorables. That's what you did, and just said the voters are the problem. That's what you did. Well, the voters answered, and they elected Trump. And you're gonna do the same thing. You're gonna say, well, if we don't vote, if we don't do this stuff, then we're gonna elect evil. And you're the problem. As soon as you start doing that, you're going to lose elections. You're going to lose people's minds every single time. And so it's like it's one of those cases where it's like politics is fascinating to me only in that it proves how stupid we are and cyclical. We don't learn anything. Like history just
Yep.
repeats itself. Like we don't learn a thing. The Democrats literally just did this, in the last 10 years. And we're acting like we've never seen this before. Trump's posting pictures of himself as Jesus, and we don't have the ability to go, yeah, that's probably not good, or let alone like I strongly condemn that. We don't. Just like when the left was like, I don't know what a woman is, and men with their stuff still attached can go into female locker rooms and stuff, and the left is like, well, I'm not gonna say anything about that. It's like that's how you lost the people's mind because you couldn't correct your own side any longer. You couldn't say that's ridiculous, that's not acceptable, and because of that, this is where we are. No one's showing up to our events. Couldn't happen to a worse individual though. I mean,
Yeah.
better.
Absolutely.
But it's funny, like to
Absolutely.
your point you made at the start, like she gets a credible threat and she goes, okay, I don't come. And then JD Vance did he attend or did he
Yep.
I think he
I
did.
don't know, right? So okay.
I'm
So
pretty sure he did.
the threat is no threat to anyone else except her. But also the other funny thing is then if there was a credible threat, they still held the event. You know what I mean? Like, if there's some sort of credible threat, wouldn't you just go, okay, hang on, maybe we don't hold the event as well? Do you know what I mean? Like, it seems super weird to me. It's obviously ridiculous. But the other thing I'll say is, isn't this just what happens to someone who didn't earn the position they're in? Do you know what I mean? Like, so she didn't she didn't earn the position she's in. She just took it over when her husband died, and so of course no one cares. No one cares what you got to say or do or whatever. Like, why should
People
we?
were interested in Charlie. People are not interested
Yeah.
in Erica Kirk.
Yeah, like
They
you can't just
they grieve
take
for
what you.
her and grieve with her, and they feel some kind of empathy for her. But Erica Kirk was never the reason that people tuned
Have the
in.
respect that Charlie
Yeah,
earned.
she never built it. She's just trying to
Yeah.
she's trying to hijack it.
Yeah.
I'm telling you right now, and this is obviously not like some kind of revelation because this is really straightforward. She will never have the support to carry that organization. It's not going to happen going forward. And the more time goes by, the more that this is going to be transparent, the more that it's going to fail. So I think you're just going to see more and more of these things where she's trying to distract from the fact that it's not working by not turning up to events, not doing planned events, doing less events, changing the setup and the structure. And I think eventually what you'll see is Turning Point eventually just fades away, or they start to pivot and put some other kind of charismatic person in the front that people actually start to pay attention to because it will never be Erica. She's just not it.
It will get rolled
So-
together in the Goy slop.
Yeah, correct.
Ben Shapiro, Turning
They'll
Point. They're all
roll it
good.
over.
They'll roll into one organization, and 'cause it's just one propaganda arm. That's going to happen.
You know what?
I never liked Charlie Kirk. I never liked him, but I could see why people could like him. See, and that's the thing. I could see what people could like with him and why they could watch him. I do not understand why anybody likes this woman. I like
There's no
that.
need.
That's literally how insufferable this woman is to me, and just how just unearned everything she is. Everything that goes wrong, she blames on her daughter. And so like I'm surprised her daughter didn't have the credible threat against her. I mean, like everything, oh, the picture of my husband up there that I removed and replaced with a scroll of the Talmud for some reason. Oh, my daughter told me to do that. Your 3-year-old daughter is still pooping her pants. Like, give me a break. I just don't believe this, but I don't understand it. So basically, what I'm getting at here is you could like Charlie, and I don't understand it. Other than just being a white knight, I guess, like I don't get it. Just
I don't
go
get it.
away. Just go away. It's like Hillary. Just go away. I don't.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised. I just get this feeling, and I wouldn't be surprised if on the backside they're trying to figure out a way to get, so obviously JD Vance, right, as vice president, will try and go for president, after Trump finally retires.
Correct.
I just wouldn't be surprised if his pick for vice president was Erica.
Yeah. Apparently they'd
And
already
I
bought
don't think
the
that's
rights
going as
to
well
that.
as they expect.
No.
Yep.
So,
And I
yeah.
think what they do is they do stuff like this to float the option, and then they get the feedback and they see
How
what
to
works
go.
and what's not working,
Yeah. Well, they
and
didn't
they'll
learn
move.
with Kamala. No one liked her, and they still kept pushing her.
Well,
Yeah,
I feel like they thought that they could have made that happen because
yeah.
I still truly believe to this day that they made Biden happen, and we don't need to get into the weeds on that right now, but I think they thought that they could make that happen. Anyway, let's move on to the last one, ladies and gents. Number 5, Priest Crafters get exclusive preview of new Temple Square Visitor Center. And the headline under that is, it pays to sell your soul. Or does it? What do you think, gang? Does it pay
I
to sell your soul as
Temple
the latest and
Square.
greatest priest crafter?
I survived Temple Square. All I got was this mug. I assume is what it says.
Do we
Let's
raid
go.
Babylon to build Zion?
Yeah, this is something that's actually irritating me enough that it needs to be called out. I don't know who's and once again, it's like to act like everything in the church is just like the divine will of God is just crazy. It's like there are bishops that have raped people. Like there are people in the church who have done horrible things, but it doesn't mean the church is bad, right? But it also to say that like, oh, because it's in the church and because like something's done like it's all good. It's insane to me. It's insane that we hold these positions. And whoever runs the church media wing of the arm of the church, like however they do that, like you're gonna have some accounting to do in the eternal worlds because this isn't baptizing anyone. Like I don't know what you think you're doing, but like you're not doing any missionary work. You're not knocking doors. You're not talking to people. You're not like this isn't selling anybody to the church or opening them up. And this is causing so many problems that we now have to solve if we're teaching people or if we're trying to reactivate people. This isn't good. And to have like these priest crafters like constantly on church news, just like here's a picture of the new temple, and it's like The Bachelor, and it's like, oh, and here's this going over here, and it's like, oh, this is somebody from Scripture Central, and it's like, it's all priestcraft. It's a priestcraft cabal. And I'll go out and say it's evil. This is evil. This is inside baseball. They get to go up to all the statues. They get when there's no crowds and take pictures with their family. This is not acceptable behavior on any level, let alone for disciples of Jesus Christ. This is not acceptable. And you got to get rid of this. You got to get rid of this. Like I'm telling you, God will ask where you stood on this. And this is just this like I don't know how people look at this and they don't immediately think about Jesus turning over the money the tables and combating the priest crafters and them killing him over it. I just don't know how you don't you how people don't see that. This is not a good thing. So whoever's in charge of that, you seriously need to do some repenting. This is not good. I this is not good. Priest crafters should be called to repentance. They should not be getting first dibs on these experiences over normal, good, actual lay membership of the church. The thing we still claim to be, even though we're not. Um, shouldn't be happening. The end.
There's, I think, an unfortunate symbiotic relationship between the church and the priest crafters, being that the church gains free media, and publicity and what have you of all these sorts of things, and the priest crafters obviously gain views and money and whatever. So unfortunate symbiotic thing that they've got going on here. The church is probably looking at it going, well, the marketing department, let's say, is looking at it and going, well, this is great for us, and I don't feel bad. And the priestcrafters are obviously frothing on it and loving it because they're getting money. So, yeah, it's nuts. It's not right. It's not good. I don't know. You know.
You've nailed it. And the problem that I also have is this sends a message to people. It sends a message that if you are more popular than other people, then you get more access to stuff. If you're more popular than people, then you get something better from the church, or more viewership, or more exposure. If you're more popular, then you get more interest. If you're more popular, then get more attention. It sort of just breeds this concept that you're not actually equal, guys. Like these guys, like you were saying, Chris, Topher, these guys rub our shoulders, so we rub theirs. We have this symbiotic relationship. We're going to put them on pedestals because we feel like it's going to make our media department a more impressive, present something that's more impressive than just a regular person that nobody knows or has any connection to, or whatever. So yeah, this whole concept of when you go into the temple, everybody wears white because we want to force everyone to try and be the same and not be above each other in any way, shape, or form is completely destroyed by the concept of trying to let only the most popular people in to get early access to a temple-like visitor center.
Yep.
It's the opposite of what we're trying to do in the temple.
And so to your point, that's the way the world works, right? Like the world does work
That's
like that.
exactly right.
And we don't want to do it the way the world does it.
Exactly.
I don't give
the one place where it shouldn't work like this is with the church, with the gospel, with all of this, where who you are and your money and your status and your stature and your whatever doesn't matter here. It shouldn't matter here.
Give me somebody from Singapore. Give me a recent
100%.
convert from Korea. Give me a recent convert from these places that literally have paper mache on their walls for wallpaper. Like, give me that, but who still pays their
temple
tithing.
that they've never been to.
Give me that person. Put them in the temple. And you know what? Take my tithing to do it, and I will shed tears of joy for them. This is sick. This is sick. That we are just like the world. That's not what we're supposed to be. The image of Jesus is always him down on a knee to the beggar and to those who want to try to serve him. This is just not the image that we want right now, ever.
Yeah, this ain't it. This ain't it.
Yeah, you ain't Zion.
Yeah.
Good way to end that. Great way to end that.
Where'd you serve your mission again, Emmett?
Hong Kong.
Hong Kong.
Ping
All
pong.
those Asian countries. Singapore, I'm like,
ping pong.
Where was this?
Ping pong.
Ping pong. All right, last one. Let's try to bring this back.
Spiritual. Come on, let's get spiritual. Let's talk spiritual. Let me get your spiritual. Let me get your spiritual. Spiritual. Pump it down. Give me your spiritual thought. Yeah.
Dude, I'm so everyone. I'm like, that's the best one because the way it's so smooth and it's like
It's smooth.
we're just gonna bring this back. Now we're just gonna bring this back.
It's smooth.
Somewhere soft and beautiful. All right, Topher or Ammon, which one do you? Topher, hit us up on this one.
All right. Spiritual thought. Okay, this is from Ezra Taft Benson from a talk called Prepare Ye in the Ensign in January 1974. That's 60 years ago. 62 years ago. Is it 52 years ago? The revelation to store food may be as essential to our temporal salvation today as boarding the ark was to the people in the days of Noah. And Elder Bruce R. McConkie, 1979 General Conference, we must maintain our own health, sow our own gardens, store our own food, educate and train ourselves to handle the daily affairs of life. No one else can work out our salvation for us, either temporally or spiritually. Now, here's my question quickly before I say the commitment here. Does the fact that these are back in the 70s, does that make them incorrect? Does that diminish their value, their truth, their importance? That's just a question to think about, right? A long time ago, has anything changed? No. And in fact, has it got more serious? Probably. So the commitment, what was the commitment? Review your temporal preps this week to see where you stand. Good. That's a great commitment. Great commitment. So let's all do that. We typically look through ours. I mean our 72-hour kits at general conference time. So and we didn't do it this time because we're all over the place at the moment. So that's probably a good reminder to sort of do something like that, and just in general. So review your temporal preps this week to see where you stand. Nice. And that fits in with the theme that we've been talking about, so that's good.
Come on, let's get spiritual. Yeah, so this was
Break it down,
I
Em.
think this ties in perfectly with what we were talking about earlier, because I was going to mention that Elder Bednar in one of his talks post 2020, I don't remember the year, but it's just a couple of years ago when everything was falling apart during COVID. He gave a talk and he's like, just because the leaders of the church may not have recently said too much about temporal preparation does not make the call and requirement to be temporally prepared any less important now than it has been in times where we've been reminded repeatedly, because repetition over a long period of time on a subject is far more valuable and important to listen to as a concert of clarity on a subject than a one-off call to do something in any time, in any age.
Correct.
And he had an entire talk about going through his temporal preparations and that type of thing. And so and that sort of relates to us saying, does there need to be like the call before we start preparing to go to Zion, the New Jerusalem? Or have we always been instructed? We've always been instructed to have a garden. Have we always been instructed to be temporally prepared? Have we always been instructed to prepare and do the right things in the day for the time in which we will actually need it? That's the truth. That's the answer. So, and something that we should be more worried about, like as we talk about going from 2 refineries to 1 in Australia, as we talk about the fact that we have zero independence in manufacturing industry or anything in our country. Now we're talking about global war, and we're talking about no oil, and we're talking about issues with gas. We're talking about prices going up 30-40% instantly in many of consumables in our country. When we start talking about this sort of stuff, you can't have all that stuff going on and continue to bury your head in the sand and say, I'll still be able to buy what I need. I don't need to worry because my parents, my boomers, never worry. Therefore, I never need to worry. You need to scrap that and realize that the concert of clarity on this subject is more important than any one single voice. And just because we haven't been pounded, it hasn't been pounded into us recently, potentially, doesn't mean it's any less important now than it ever has been.
Yep. You don't want to be. I don't want to be the person. Like I had that experience. Yeah, I don't want to be the person to be like, "Where were you when the world ended?" And and to be the person that was like, I had no food storage, I had no water, I had none of this stuff. But man, the new Captain America movie was really good. Like I don't want to be that guy, man. I just don't want to be that guy. Like there are like I get going to see Mario in theaters with my kids might be a fun thing. Whatever. Like okay, wholesome recreation activity. I get that. But like when your kid's starving to death, like and he's like, why don't I have any food? And it's like, well, we went to a movie. It's just yeah, well, it's spiritual fear mongering. No, it's not. It's living after the manner of happiness. And the Lord said, "The prepared shall not fear." It's not, oh, you just believe in me in some kind of mythical kind of throw your hopes up into the air and it just falls down nice, won't fear. It's the prepared won't fear. It's a prepared. It's that old story about the farmer that hired the guy and the storm happened. Have you ever heard this story? So he hires this guy and and this guy does all the work, and he's really, really good. And but the storm hits, and he runs in, and the help is just passed out, just sleeping. He's like, "We need to go do," and he's panicking, and he's like, "Nah, I don't need to panic because I've already put the horses away. I've already looked at this. I've already done all this stuff. What you're panicked about, I've already done. And I don't need to be afraid. I don't have to worry because I don't have to run out there, the storm, and put everything because I've already done it. And because of that, I can sleep calmly at night. I can sleep peacefully. And that's the where the old idiom comes from. The prepared need not fear. It's you have to be prepared. You don't just get to not prepare and be like, well, the Lord is my preparation. That's not doctrinal. So
He'll give
make
me a final warning before he does anything too drastic. Yeah.
yeah, he'll give you just enough time to, how does it go again? Go to the market and buy for yourself. Something like that. I think it's how it goes. So anyway, that's the commitment. Just review, it's a good one it's a pain in the butt. I get that. But ask yourself, how long could I live? Maybe it's depressing. How long could I live? If I ration what I have out for food, if I ration what I have out for water, how long could I keep my children alive? Ask yourself that. Just figure out where you stand. That's what I would say for me this week, and it's good to do, you know. So that's the commitment this week. Figure out where we stand.
Awesome.
We good with that?
Yeah.
Good.
Alright.
Good.
Who's ending this mess?
That would be the one in the middle, the one who didn't start it.
Well, that wraps us up for this week, everybody. Thanks for joining us with your favorite
Three
brothers. We love you guys. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for accidentally clicking and hanging around. If you did, we love you. We'll catch you next week, and we'll see you soon.